Welcome back, sports fans, to another exciting week of the NGDL, and this is week 11. We are going into this game against the leader of the Green Division right now, Joey Fontaine, and his awesome, cute Arcanine, still a very strange name. He's actually leading the division at 6-4. Meanwhile, I'm also at 6-4. However, due to the strength of the Kanto Conference, I'm actually currently not even in a wild card spot right now. If the season were to end today, I am tied with my record with Use and Dank Mandatan, and they have the tiebreakers over me right now, so that kind of sucks. So I don't know how some of you guys are going to respond to this, but I did a thing, late yesterday, which is the transaction period, and that thing is I moved on from Mega Blaziken. So first, let me just go ahead and say that there is a little god, a Pokemon god, sitting in the free agency pool. And I would just been eyeballing it the whole season. I originally picked Mega Blaziken because I had never really used it, and I thought it would be fun and cool, and, it definitely hits like a truck, but at the end of the day, it's way too predictable. People know it's coming, and it's just kind of frail. It's incredibly prone to priority attacks, and it can't take a hit, and, at 100 base speed, even after +1, he's still going to get outsped by some of the more common Scarfers. So, I mean, it's just kind of been a pain for me all season. It had that one game that it swept, but other than that, I've been wholly disappointed with its performance this season, and I decided to finally pull the trigger in Arceus. Now a quick caveat here. Arceus is actually form locked in this league, so I cannot use any of the plates on it, and I cannot use any Z crystal other than Normalium Z. So it's just going to be normal Arceus, which honestly is the best form of Arceus, but that means I can't really, obviously change its form in order to, advantage me against my current opponent. But that's fine. I decided to move on against one of the bulkiest Pokemon legal in the NGDL, as well as one of the hardest hitting. So I need this win, and that's the reason I'm doing this. I need this win. I'm at 6-4. I don't have a wild card spot. I need to make a push here in the last 6 games in order to make the playoffs. And, just to add, and I was actually going to do this next week, but after seeing Joey Fontaine's roster, I knew that the move had to be done this week, because go ahead and take a look at this. Look at the absolute insane priority this guy has on his team. It's absolutely crazy. So, like I said earlier, Mega Blaziken's main weakness is priority moves. I mean, he just can't get around it. It's annoying to him because, while he wants to go fast, he can't really, obviously, outspeed the outspeedable. So, you got Bruxish, which is like a truck with Aqua Jet. You have Greninja, who's the obviously the star of the Miami Dolphiones Season 1. It's going to be an interesting matchup against the star of my former team, which also obviously gets a really strong water priority move in Water Shuriken. And he has Extreme Speed Arcanine, they misgot, so to speak. He has Hitmonlee, that obviously get a few priority moves. And he even has like that Hail duo, which I think one of them actually gets a Ice Shard, but that's not really the point. The point is that Sandslash the Slush Rush and a Scarf Crobat can still outspeed my Mega Blaziken even at +1. I need to get like +2 and some crazy thing. Plus he has like an absurd amount of Pokemon that can actually just take a hit from my Mega Blaziken without +2. So that's why I decided to move on this week, and I actually feel really bad about it. I was kind of grown attached to Mega Blaziken, but this is the best thing for the Dolphiones. We need to make a playoff push, and it needs to start now. So there's the teams. As you can see, he's obviously going to be leading Smeargle. I decided to actually bring, for the first time, a Magic Coat Araquanid. And I do that because Smeargle is really annoying. It obviously wants to set up first turn. It's obviously going to carry a Focus Sash. And I don't have a whole lot of ways to deal with it. I don't want to, give him that free setup. I don't want to give him that Spore. I don't want to give him those Sticky Webs. I don't want to give him those Stealth Rocks. So the plan here was just to keep going for Magic Coat until, something good happens. So he, obviously gets, all those things set up on him. He ends up going for the Spore, though, first turn, which is actually the best thing that could happen for me, because that means I get the Spore reflected onto his Smeargle, which takes a nap, and I'm like, this is awesome. I'm going to go ahead and set up my own Sticky Web. So there we go. We're going to set up the Sticky Web. It's going to snooze. He doesn't decide to switch it out, and now I'm like, okay, I hope he doesn't get, the wake up in these 2 turns. Unfortunately, he gets the first turn wake. So I'm just going to go for the Liquidation here. I was hoping he didn't wake up. So get him down to his Sash. He does get the Sticky Web off on me, which actually is okay. In fact, I would rather him get the Sticky Web on me than the Stealth Rocks. And that's because I know that I can pretty much outspeed him because he didn't actually bring Crobat, which is actually shocking to me. but I can outspeed him pretty much with the webs up, so I'm okay with both of us having webs. So I'm just going to keep magic coating now, because he doesn't seem to have Nuzzle, so there's really nothing he can do to me. He ends up going for the Stealth Rock, so he's just going to go ahead and set those up on himself, and I'm like, this is awesome, and I'm just going to keep going for it, because I don't think a Smeargle has anything to do at all. And he's going to try to go for the Spore again, so I was like, oh, I was actually not expecting him to Spore again. But that's awesome, because that means this thing goes to sleep, and I didn't go ahead and kill it. So that's what I'm going to do. I'm going to go for the liquidation, and this ends up being an awesome first few turns for me. We both have the sticky webs up on our field. I said that, like I said, that's fine. But most importantly, he has Stealth Rocks, I don't, and I still have my Focus Sash on my my Araquanid. Now he's going to go out into his Aurorus here to set up his Hail, and I'm like, well, that thing is weak to liquidation. It just took 25%. I'm just going to go ahead and liquidate this thing. I know he can't possibly kill me no matter what he does, even if he has, like, the Rocky MZ, because I have my Sash. Instead, he just goes for a Freeze Dry, and that's going to do about half, and I'm just going to go ahead and murder this Aurorus, and that's cool. 2 Pokemon down, and I've not even, I've only had to use Araquanid. So in comes his Sand Slash now. And obviously this thing's going to have Slush Rush, which means it's insanely fast, even after that Sticky Web. But I'm like, you know what? Just going to stay in, try to get damage on it. He's probably just going to kill me with Rock Slide, which he does. He ended up saying it's Rocky MZ, but he didn't need a kill. But that's fine, though, because I can just go into Ninetales. That will set up the Sun instead of the Hail. I didn't actually bring a Heat Rock on this Ninetales. It's actually a Grassy MZ, because I wanted something to do to Aurorus if he was to switch it in and get up his Hail. But, no, this is still fine, because I get rid of his Hail. He can't set it back up again. And this thing is going to be outsped now and take a Flamethrower to the face, which obviously it can't do, so it's dead. And in comes his Arcanine, the Misgot. This thing is also weak to Stealth Rocks, which is also pretty crucial that I got those Stealth Rocks reflected. I did have Stealth Rocks on my Uxie, but obviously him setting them up on himself is even better. So, yeah, he comes in, takes 25%. I end up switching directly to my Uxie. I did set up the Sun for him, so he knows he can hit super hard with Flare Blitz, but I know that my Uxie is so bulky that it can take a Flare Blitz even in the Sun. I live with 42 HP, and being that I outspeed this thing thanks to the Sticky Webs, I don't mind just going for the Memento, which of course lowers stats by -2 each. It kills Uxie though, and this is the perfect time to claim the win here with the God. Now, I know that he could carry Will-O-Wisp, but if he does do that, then that means I can just get +4, and all I need is a little bit of extra attack to be able to OHKO his remaining 2 Pokemon, the Bruxish and the Greninja. Unfortunately for him, he doesn't even have the Will-O-Wisp on it, and that is one of the things Memento lets you do, is it lets you get easy setups, because he cannot just stay in and Flare Blitz my face off. Oh no, sir, I get my Swords Dance. So, he ends up having the Dazzling ability, which I've never seen a Bruxish use, because I don't know why you wouldn't use Strong Jaw. But it does actually prevent my Extreme Speed from working. He could have gotten a little bit more damage if he went for Psychic Fang. Actually, that wouldn't have been boosted by Strong Jaw, so it probably wouldn't have even done that much. But no, it just goes for the Aqua Jet, and that does absolutely nothing, especially in the Sun. So, yeah, he gets some minuscule damage as I just kill it now with Earthquake. And in comes Greninja, and I am sorry, former Dolphione MVP, you ain't gonna live this extreme speed, a +2. Down it goes, I don't even care what your set is. And his Miscot comes in, Arcanine, gets the Intimidate off, but at this point, it doesn't matter. I could have actually outsped this thing. In fact, I EV'd my Arceus to outspeed Max Speed Arcanine if it came down to it. So I could have just Earthquaked it, which would be a kill even at +1 after the Intimidate. But no, I can just go for the Extreme Speed, because that will prevent him from Extreme Speeding as well. So, that is awesome. That is the exact kind of divine influence that we needed here in the Dolphiones. And I know, I felt like a little piece of my identity was transacted, was sold away in order to, get this boost. But Arceus, looking back on it, is the right choice. It's bulky, it can take hits, it can its Swords Dance set, obviously Extreme Speed is probably its most potent set, but I can run a special version if I need to, I can keep my opponent off balance, and most importantly, and I can't state this enough, it's bulky enough to take hits, which is what we needed. In fact, I actually brought Choppleberry on this particular Arceus, and I did that because he had Hitmonlee, and I wanted to be able to live in close combat. I also knew that low kick Greninja was possible. So, like I said, it only has one weakness, being locked into its normal form. It only is weak against fighting moves. I can mitigate that if my opponent has strong fighting moves with, Choppleberry, and this just feels right. I mean, we need to make a playoff push. Now we're 7-4. we'll see how the rest of the games fall. Going into next week, which we actually fight Quilliams, who actually had the best record in the JL NGDL2 not 2 weeks ago, but he just fell 2 straight, so he's fallen down to 8-3, and it's time to take advantage with my new god and my new god Pokemon, and try to hit him when he's down. So we're gonna need that win if we're gonna try to make this playoff push. And I feel really great right now. I mean, we beat a good team at 6-4, a team that loaded with priority that was going to be a major problem for Mega Blaziken. Actually, looking back on that match, I probably could have won with Mega Blaziken the way that things turned out. But no, I feel like this is the right play. You guys can comment on whether I did the right or wrong thing. But at the end of the day, I need the win. And yeah, feels awesome to be 7-4. So today's question of the day is going to be, what is your favorite legendary Pokemon? It's a question I probably asked a handful of times on my YouTube question of the days, but I'm not entirely sure if I, asked it since Gen 7. I probably have, but maybe some of you guys have changed your favorite legends, or maybe you just want to remind me, or maybe, I don't know, maybe you've never actually answered one of those before, so there you go. As for me, it's always going to be Mew. It's like the legendary Pokemon, it's one of the real, just, what's the word? Especially in the early days of the internet, Mew changed everything because there was a ton of rumors, and Mew validated all of them because Mew was the rumor that actually ended up being correct. It was a literal legend, and some people doubted it was even in the game. Not even Nintendo knew it was in the game when it was shipped. Game Freak did not tell Nintendo about that they programmed this 151st Pokemon into the game in the last minute, and it just kind of changed. In the early days of the internet, at least, give me not the early days of the internet, but the early days when I was in the internet, which a lot earlier than probably you guys were on the internet, the legends of Pokegods, which of course, included Peekaboo and all that, all inspired by the legend that was true, aka Mew. So leave a comment about that and see you guys again next time. Later.